All righty, we're talking with Tom Keifer, the Tom Keifer Band. They're going to be at the Rialto Theatre on Friday, September 19th, along with L.A. Guns. Hey, Tom, thanks for taking time on your busy schedule to hang out with us on the phone here in Tucson for a little bit.
Oh, well, thanks for having me, man. Good to talk to you, man.
So you were here, I want to say it feels like it was just a year and a half, 2 years ago with L.A. Guns. You guys put on just one hell of a show. I remember like seeing you back in the Cinderella days, and you even have more members in the Tom Keifer Band. And man, the old songs sound great. The new songs sound great. How do you put it all together?
Well, you mentioned the size of the band. We pride ourselves in being 100% live. So, the Cinderella records and the solo records, there's a lot of instrumentation on them and lots of vocals and gospel vocals and keyboards and stuff. So, to really pull that off live and sound, like the record, we like to have a big band. And actually, Cinderella at one point, at our peak, we had an 8-piece band on the road. We had keys, background singers, percussionist, saxophone. And with this band, it's pretty close. We just don't have the sax player. But yeah, I mean, the music requires it. When we recorded with Cinderella, or when I've recorded with my solo for the solo records and with the solo band, we've always brought in other players and singers and stuff to kind of bring whatever flavor, whether it's gospel vocals or a certain type of keyboard sound or that kind of thing, percussion. So we try to do it all live, and we get into we're about to next week start. We usually put a couple weeks in to a pretty big pre-production rehearsal on the sound stage and make sure everything's firing on all cylinders. And so, yeah, it's just trying to make it sound like what was laid down in the grooves, brother. That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, and you do. You actually do sound like you do on the records, and that's the thing I really appreciate about your career. Like I've seen you guys going back, what was it, '86? I think when the first time I saw you, I think I saw you up in Phoenix. You were playing in Oktoberfest with Cinderella, and just watching your career grow and how much you've grown as a musician as well. Because a lot of people, I think you got lumped into that hair band thing for a bit, but to me, you've always been just this great blues, just rock and roll band.
Well, thank you. I mean, that's what I grew up on and cut my teeth on. Not only just the rock bands of the late '60s and '70s that were inspired by the blues, but I dug back at an early age into the blues and R&B and gospel stuff and country, and there's just so many artists that I went back and listened to because my rock heroes were influenced by them, and then you kind of get to listen to what you're like Jimmy Page and Keith Richards. What were they listening to? Where'd they get it from? You go back and listen to Son House and Muddy Waters and Johnny Winter and that kind of stuff. I was a big James Brown fan at a pretty early age, so you kind of get to interpret it your own way too, as well as absorbing what the rock artists did that you grew up on.
Yeah, you always, to me, seemed like such a serious musician compared to some of the other bands that I love from that era. But you've continued to grow. But you've only put out, it seems like, 2 solo albums. Is there any more Tom Keifer Band solo stuff coming out?
Yeah, we're gonna do another one. We've been talking about it, and it's just always when the lightning strikes. The first one took years to make. Second one came a little bit faster. Actually, we weren't expecting to jump into the studio. We've been touring nonstop since the first record came out in 2013, and we were kind of talking about making another record. And then in 2018, we really weren't thinking about it. And we got off the tour bus. The next thing we knew, it was just like in the studio and making Rise, and it was released the next year. So, I think there's a season for every record. I'm not of the school of, you got to put out a new record every year. To me, it's more about the quality than the quantity. So, I think the more records you make, the more selective you are too in your songwriting, because it's like, oh man, I've already said that. I've already
Ah,
sung about that. I've already done. So you're little when you're searching for those song ideas. You're looking for something maybe that you haven't done before. Or said before.
yeah. So you got to wait for the inspiration, I would think.
Yeah, and I've always been that way, and it can strike at any time. Some people can say, "Oh, I'm going to schedule to write with so and so at noon tomorrow, and we're going to write a song, and they can do it." I've never been that way. It's like I'm walking through Home Depot, and I'm like in the light bulb aisle, and all of a sudden I get like a chorus playing in my head, and it's like, "Oh wow, I need to get out of here and like jot down these lyrics or sing this melody into my voice memo," or so a lot of I get a lot of ideas when traveling. There's something about that hypnotic state you get in when you're on the highway in a car
Oh yeah.
or on the tour bus or even in a plane. I remember the title "Long Cold Winter" for some reason. I remember that came to me on a long plane ride, just staring out the window. So yeah, I mean you kind of wait for those moments where you go, wow, that's a good idea.
So who's in your band right now? Is it the same lineup you've had for a while?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's been pretty much the same band since we first started touring on The Way Life Goes. We did have a change of drummers. We have Jared Pope plays drums for us now, but that was in 2017, and Corey Myers came on with us with keyboards at that time. So that was the first change in the lineup, but that was, like 8 years ago. So it's been, they've been pretty solid with us. And then Tanya Davis sings with Savannah now, Kendra. After the pandemic, she's not on the road anymore. So we have Tanya Davis has been with us the last few years. And this year we have Luis Espaillat. He played with us in 22. Billy Mercer has been the bass player in the band since day one, but he was unable to tour this year. So we have Luis is out with us again, and he's an amazing bass player. And of course Tony Higbee on guitar, and myself. I think I mentioned everyone. Tanya, Savannah,
Yeah.
Luis this year, and Corey, Jared, and Tony. Yeah.
So you're going to be here on Friday night, September 19th, at the Rialto Theatre with L.A. Guns. Second time I've seen you with L.A. Guns. You got a good relationship with Tracy?
Yeah. I love the whole band. I have gone back to the 80s, and Tracy's an amazing guitarist, and Phil still sings. He just sounds great. They really, really are a great live band. They've got great songs, and yeah, we started touring with them in 22. It was the first tour back after the pandemic. It was like the, jump in the deep end from sitting on your couch for 2 years to like,
Yeah.
let's go play rock shows, And it was a great tour. It was called Sonic Slam, and it was us and Guns and Faster Pussycat, and we got along famously, and the fans and the crowd seemed to really like the combination of us and L.A. Guns. So in 23 and 24, last year, even, like we've done a lot of shows together, off and on, different runs. So yeah, we get along great, and I think the music complements.
Oh,
Both
absolutely.
bands.
So, Tom, how do you go about picking your set list?
Well, it's try to change it up every year a little bit. There's certain songs that people want to hear, and I certainly am happy to still sing them. There's some Cinderella staples that are always in the set, and there's a few from the solo records now that are like kind of always in the set. They're favorites, like Solid Ground and The Death of Me. So, you have the ones that that people are going to be disappointed if they don't hear. And then every year you kind of just changed what's left of the set, whatever percent of the set is kind of flexible. You try to put in like a cool album track or something different, So we mix it up. This year we've got couple of things from Rise that we haven't done in a few years in the set, and some stuff from Heartbreak Station that we haven't played in a few years.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we just mix it up every year, but there's always kind of like a core set of songs that are obviously, there's Cinderella ones, but there's a handful of stuff off of the 2 solo records now that are pretty much staples in the show, and then we just kind of work around that, and then kind of changing the order, and how the set develops too is a big thing, because to me, the pacing of a set is like writing a song.
Oh yeah.
You kind of hit hard and build up, and then you gotta have the peaks and the valleys, because if it's just bang 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 the whole time, the set doesn't grow. So it's kind of an art to that.
I can imagine that it is, because you also you want to keep their audience, also keep your interest as well, having fun on stage, and you're telling a story almost as well.
Yeah, and it's kind of placed in the mid tempos or the ballads, just in the right place where you've really had a bunch of high energy stuff and you need a release, so everyone can kind of just take a breath, and then you come back in even harder after that, kind of thing. So it's like, it's pacing.
Well, the Tom Keifer Band's going to be at the Rialto Theatre Friday night, September 19th. You can get your ticket to klpx.com. L.A Guns also on the bill. Tom, if people want to follow the band, is it tomkeifer.com? And are you on social media as well, the band?
Well, yeah, tomkeifer.com is the website, and there's, the tour dates are there, and there's photos and some news articles. A lot of the videos are there. Actually, I think all the solo videos are there, and some pictures, and so that's the website. And then, social media, there's 3 official social medias. There's a Facebook, an X, and an Instagram. And I would say caution that everyone make sure that you're on the one with the check.
Yes.
And the one that has like lots and hundreds of thousands of followers, not the fake one with the fake check and 2 followers, because there's so many fake social media, people imitating artists and actors and stuff. So just be sure you're on the official one.
And I presume it would be Tom Keifer Band, then look for the blue check.
Actually, all the socials are just under Tom Keifer.
Oh, okay, cool. And then look for the blue check mark so they know it's really your site.
Yeah, some are white now. I think Facebook is like a white check or a silver check.
Oh, okay.
They've changed them, but the easiest way to tell is the number of followers, because all the fakes have like 5 followers.
True.
So
yes.
That's the way to figure it out, really.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Tom, thank you so much, man. I'm looking forward to seeing the show in September here in Tucson. Anything you want to say to the audience here to let them know what to expect?
Well, we're looking forward to coming back. We were there last, about a year, and it'll be about a year and a half since we were at the Rialto. I think it was last April we were there, and we had a blast. And it had been a while since we had played Tucson, and we had a great time. And looking forward to it again. And we've changed the show up some, so there's going to be some different songs and energy. But it will be, we promise, one big loud rock and roll show that is 100% live, and L.A. Guns are too. I want to mention that as well. They play everything live. There's no tapes or any of that crap.
Live rock and roll, the way it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. The good, the bad, and the ugly, man. Sometimes we hit a bad note.
Well, that happens.
But at least you know it's us.
Absolutely. Well, Tom, hold on the line real quick. But again, get your tickets at klpx.com.